In the Carolina cold, more hits to the roster due to injury for the Dallas Cowboys and as the underdogs as well heading into Week 15. All things pointing in favor of the Carolina Panthers, but the odds stacked against the Dallas Cowboys just not enough. And even they got the best of them. The cold start didn't get the best of them either. It just took a little extra heat to get the job done, and they brought it all in all three phases. Dallas takes down Carolina in Week 15, 30-14, the final, and the Cowboys get their 6th win of the NFL season. The first half, the Cowboys were again moving the ball just a little bit, but just couldn't execute off the turnovers the defense created. But second half, they started to take advantage after the Dallas defense forced a turnover on the Panthers' second half opening drive. The Cowboys offense capitalized off of a short field, and Cooper Rush throws arguably probably his best throw of the game. A dime to Jalen Tolbert, and the Dallas defense then forces a 3-and-out on the Panthers' second possession in the second half. And then you get a Cooper Rush-Jalen Brooks connection. How about that? Last week, Cooper Rush's theme of the game was missed opportunities. Well, this week, I'm calling it checkmate because the Cowboys had a run game that helped them sustain drives. Defense was hunting, and even though you might put into perspective that it was the Panthers they played, it's a win and a complete win at that.
I mean, I think, we've always been a resilient bunch, and today, that's a great example of it because, frankly, the way the first half went, we felt like we were really in charge. I think we were +6 big play, category at that time, and that was really the only 2 plays they made in the first half. With the fumble recovery was self-inflicted, and they had they hit the big play on the broken coverage. But yeah, I mean they were good at halftime, and we got to play better moving forward. Obviously we got Tampa Bay coming in next. Too many penalties. We've got to take care of the football, but the takeaway is outstanding. I thought the defense really set the tone for us in the first half. And Terp is magnificent, and with special teams, the field position battle. I didn't see the field position battle, but I assume we were ahead there. But +3 turnover ratio. Those are the basics that we want to play to. I think we had 20 more total plays than they did. I don't know what the time of possession came out, but that's the way we want to play. We want to play balance on offense, get our trips to the plate in the run game, and be smart in the passing game.
Mike Archer of ESPN. What'd you make of the way Cooper rebounded after the fumble and how he came back?
Yeah, Cooper's. I thought his 2 touchdown throws were huge, big time throws. The loop pass was something that they rolled the coverage that to the close side. We called it a nub side, and obviously had a good coverage for that particular play, and he just extended the play, had great patience, and hit JT in the corner of the end zone. I thought that was a huge play. No different than the second one to Jalen Brooks. So love his poise. He commands the huddle, keeps us in really good plays. You can see that throughout the day, particularly how we ran the ball. And just because this defense is very challenging, they do a phenomenal job testing you, especially on a short week. So a lot of credit to our players for managing that.
We just had to play our brand of football. No matter whatever happened in the game before, we got to go out there and prepare our butts off and play good and keep fighting, like I said last week. So that's what I feel like we did. We did a really good job making sure that we kept that offense to a limit, and we went out there and do our job.
The takeaways. I mean, the takeaways had to feel good.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, when we get people in passing downs, that's what we known for. I feel like we haven't been in those situations a lot, but when we do, I feel like we're one of the best teams in the league at that.
The Cowboys' brand of football, like Jordan Lewis had mentioned, is just playing physical, playing fast, and that offensive line and the defensive line, the battle in the front is obviously a big part of that success. All right, up next, we've got George Teague breaking down some big-time plays in the game. How about Odighizwua? His price just went up after Week 15.
Dallas Cowboys Flashback, powered by Reliant, is brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, and by Reliant, official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.
It's Victory Monday. The Dallas Cowboys getting the job done in Week 15. 30-14, the final over the Carolina Panthers. And how did they get it done? Well, we've got George Teague here to break it all down. The Cowboys offense, though, certainly a slow start for them, we'd like to say. A couple not able to move the ball well, particularly. But that third offensive drive, they call on a guy named CeeDee Lamb most of the time. I call it the CeeDee Lamb drive because he certainly set the tone offensively. They were able to go and score down the field. What worked for them?
Well, I like that they're able to establish the run first, and then that opens up where you can get your best wide receiver in one-on-one scenarios. So let me show you how when you have the best NFL wide receiver on what happens here. So this is cover one. Cover one means you got a safety in the middle of the field, but you got man-to-man matchup here, okay? So his job is to be able to manipulate the leverage to get outside of this guy and head to the corner, okay? So that's what's gonna happen first. And then when you start to see this go in motion, he is trying to get this guy to move, but he's going to work to stay outside of him. As he starts to get to this point, you're going to see where now Cooper Rush, at this time, he's making a decision. Am I going to throw the ball over CeeDee Lamb's head, or am I going to throw it behind him? He's taught that he has to throw it at either one of the pylons. Because the guy's on top of CeeDee Lamb, he is going to throw it behind him intentionally at that first pylon so that he can have the back shoulder fade. Great body control by CeeDee Lamb to be able to come up with a great catch.
He's a playmaker. I mean, when you don't have the accuracy from your quarterback, it certainly shows on the field, and you have guys like this who can make the play. But that was a 3rd and 4 third down conversion. He had 3 on that same drive, 1 for a 20-yard gain, 1 for a 28-yard gain. I mean, that's got to say a lot about a playmaker like CeeDee Lamb. But moving on to the defensive side of the ball, you talk about complementary football. This is something that Mike McCarthy loves to see when they finally do it. They certainly did it on a Sunday against the Carolina Panthers. The offense for the Carolina Panthers go out and score right before the half on a big play. And then the defense comes out and says, hey, we got this. We're going to set the tone defensively off the gate.
Setting the tone very, very fast. Speaking of fast, I need for you to take a very quick look at this gentleman right here before we get to Odighizwua, right? So I just want you to watch the get off of this guy, right? So when you set this thing in motion, we're talking about how fast he is. Stop it right there. Will you look at this, please? That he is 2 yards in front, literally, like in front of everybody. Everybody else is back here, okay, right? But then if you look at these wide receivers, they're only 1 yard, not even down the field yet. He's already 2 yards down the line of scrimmage. So it makes you have to double team him, right? So that leaves one-on-ones with everyone else. So when you go to the back end of this, and you actually see what we want to turn our attention to is Odighizwua, who's right down here, okay? We got to be able to have him because we need him. He's going to swim. He's going to do what's called a club and rip move with this. So if you let it go, he's going to take his left hand. He's going to club 68. You see that violence right there? Rip through with the right arm and then use his athleticism to get up the field and give the strip sack.
Ooh.
Very first play of the second half. Momentum going.
Momentum going. You talk about a guy like Odighizwua. He had mentioned to me that his footwork is something that he's really emphasized this season with Jeff Skazina and even Mike Zimmer. So you can see his get off the ball out of his stance is a lot faster. He had a couple of plays on that next offensive drive for the Carolina Panthers as well with a run stop, and him and Chauncey, even though Chauncey was credited for that sack, it's fine. Odighizwua was there. So the price just went up for guys like Micah Parsons, Odighizwua, Chauncey Golston, because they're in contract years. So it's certainly going to be something to talk about.
Hey, the club and rip equals bag.
Ooh, equals bag. All right, well, there's certainly a bag that will be costing Rico Dowdle a lot. Well, the Cowboys, a lot for Rico Dowdle. We got to talk about him up next. He's hitting new milestones up next here on Cowboys Flashback.
This segment was brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Lamb goes out. Pump short. Scan the field. Got a man coming open in the back of the end zone. Jalen Brooks hangs on for the touchdown. Third of the day for Cooper
heck of a throw by Cooper Rush. And how about a heck of a catch by Jalen Brooks? Jalen Brooks gets his first touchdown of his career, a long time coming for number 83. He's been fighting for more opportunities all year long, so you love to see him finally get some opportunities this year and get to shine in Week 15. But you also know who you love to see shine is Rico Dowdle, continuing to reach new heights as well in his game. How about his third straight 100-yard rushing game? He set a career high in each of those games. 25 carries, 149 rushing yards, no touchdowns, but the Cowboys' run game is rocking with Rico.
Rico, individually, have you ever had more fun running the football than these last 3 games?
Probably not, honestly. I mean, maybe high school. Had some pretty good games in high school, like back to back to back. A lot of touchdowns. I mean, that's the only thing I'm missing right now, but this is definitely a great time right now. These past 3 weeks, those guys are opening it up, and it's been 3 good weeks in a row.
You spoke about earlier this week how much 1,000 would mean. You're 120 off now. How does it feel to be that close?
Closing in, definitely feels good. Definitely want to hit that milestone in my first year being a starter, so definitely want to hit that milestone. Looking for it. Definitely can get it.
You're running really physically. The offensive line looks like it's playing a really violent run style. Do you think that's just been the success for you?
Good.
Do you think that's just been the success for you guys is leaned into that identity? It's just a physical run game.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, those guys are playing violent up front, and they're moving people off the ball. And when they doing that, it make it easy for me. And they making my job real easy right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's just something that we've been emphasizing, throughout our preparation and throughout the week. It's just knowing that, the game is going to ultimately start and end with us. And so the way we move the rock, throughout the game, just keeping us in those situations where we can just keep the ball moving downfield, just ultimately going to lead to success. And I felt like we did that today.
What about bouncing back after, that's about as hard of a loss as this team will ever have on Monday night. What does it say about the script that you played as well as you did today coming off of that defeat?
It speaks to, the professionalism. I mean, the guys, we understand what it is. Sometimes, things aren't going to go how you drew it up, and you got to come back to the drawing board and prepare for the next opponent. So I feel like the guys did that. We did a great job moving on to the next opponent, just dominating.
Good play up front means good play from your running back. Rico Dowdle's the first undrafted player with 3 straight 100-plus rushing yard games since 2014. When your run game works, everything else falls into place offensively. You saw that on Sunday. Third down efficiency improved. They were able to control the clock better. Red zone efficiency was there, scoring on 3 of their 4 trips. And it even makes things easier on your quarterback. Cooper Rush with 3 passing touchdowns, a season high since his first start at QB1 this year. The accuracy just wasn't there the entire game, though, but that's why you have playmakers like CeeDee Lamb who can bail you out. CeeDee Lamb adding to the Cowboys record book, surpassing 1,000 yards receiving for the 4th straight season, the first player in the existence of the Cowboys to achieve that in 4 of his first 5 seasons.
Means a lot. Means all the hard work is paying off. Mad consistent with my work and the approach towards every year, and it's good to see that it shows up. And obviously I'm grateful for it, grateful for the opportunity, grateful for being in this organization and doing what I'm doing. Looking forward to many more of those. Yeah.
Took a lot of hard hits today in the cold. How tough was it just to get through all that?
Yeah, I feel like it's a well-known thing that my shoulder's hurting, so I feel like these guys are definitely trying to put their best hit on me. So, you got to come a little harder than that. No. But
Xavier Woods, yeah.
Yeah, nah, he's a. I played on this team for a couple of years, so I know what he's capable of. That was a good hit by him. But you're going to need to bring a little more.
You go back to the touchdown drive, not just that catch, but the 2 big catches on that drive for you before that.
Yeah.
You speak about your mentality. Is it a mindset of put the team on my back? What are you thinking?
I always had that mentality, and obviously offensively the guys are looking for me as a spark. So with that, I'm going to continue to do that, and I look at myself as a spark as well. I feel like I can personally score from anywhere on the field, no matter how deep. So with that being said, I want to be a threat every time I touch it.
CeeDee Lamb stacking good day after good day. That's expected. But so is this defense. Mike Zimmer and the Dallas defense with a loaded lunch plate on Sunday and no room for leftovers. They did all their feasting Sunday afternoon. That's up next.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Mike Zimmer likes to say that turnovers come in bunches. That has been the case certainly for this Dallas defense. The defense with 4 takeaways against the Carolina Panthers. In the last 7 games, they now have a total of 14. That says a lot for a defense that forced little to nothing early in the season. Clearly, they're making up for lost time. Just like the turnovers, though, the sacks came in bunches Sunday as well. The Cowboys had 6, one coming from Odighizwua, who's on a contract year and building a case to stay here in Dallas. 4 tackles, 4 quarterback hits, a tackle for loss, a forced fumble. Osa's stat line against the Panthers. He caught up with Kyle Yeomans on Cowboys OT about him and the D-line's performance postgame.
Osa, it was a phenomenal game. You were pointed out multiple times by Greg Olsen and the TV broadcast for the amount of times you guys had success on that defensive line. What went right for you guys in this one?
I feel like we did a good job of, one, being able to put them in passing situations and then just capitalize on that.
So he talked about those situations, the passing situations. They had to throw it a ton of times throughout the game. When that happens, does the mindset change at all from the guys up front, you, Mozzie Smith, Micah, to have the type of success that you guys on the defensive line?
Yeah, I mean, we got rushers on our front, so when we get in those passing situations, that's what really gets me excited. I know that's what really gets Micah excited in our D-line to be able to go hunt.
Did you guys see anything on film this week that allowed you guys to pin your ears back a little bit more going into this matchup?
Definitely we had some detailed preparation, and there were some keys that we were able to take advantage of.
What were some of those keys along the way?
I'm not going to tell you.
You don't want to let that one slip at all in terms of what's going on? You still got 3 more games left to play. I like it. I respect it moving forward. Now, with that being said, the confidence level continues to rise on the defensive side of the ball. How do you continue that momentum going into next week in a matchup with Tampa Bay?
You know, just continue to lock in on the preparation, make sure that everyone's good to go, make sure that we're in our books, make sure everything is detailed and paying attention to detail just so we can get it done and have a good time, you know?
How much have you guys taken steps forward from a defensive line standpoint as the year has gone on underneath Mike Zimmer?
Definitely I feel like we've just been getting better as the week's been going on. Just starting to get it down a little bit more every week. The way I see it, it's a very long season, and you have a long time, and you can get better throughout the season. So I think we've just been taking the right approach, being consistent in our work and our preparation, and starting to pay off.
Yeah, we just keep finding ways to step up. Man, I kind of hit on it, like I said before. We're going to be in these games. We got to step up defensively, understand what we're missing offensively, even some guys on our side, but we just got to keep stepping up. I mean, this was a good team. Gave Eagles a fight, Chiefs, Broncos. I mean, it's a team that, you know, coming in here, we didn't want to take lightly because of the film, what they was putting out there. So we got to find ways to keep putting it together. We got an explosive team next week, too.
How big was Leopold forcing that fumble to kind of get this going?
Oh, that was tough. He made up for it. He can't make a clip now. I needed that, huh? Oh, that was tough. You know, like I said, he's a guy that's going to keep stepping up for us. You know, he's really doing his thing.
The Dallas defense holding the Panthers' run game to just 60 yards on the ground. Their 1,000-yard rusher only had 32, so that obviously says a lot about this Dallas defense stopping the run. They put them in a lot of passing situations, and the defense had a field day. But it was certainly not a field day in terms of carrying the load they have this season. We're hearing from Micah Parsons up next.
To watch more Dallas Cowboys content on your connected TV, download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV. Dallas Cowboys Flashback, powered by Reliant, was brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, and by Reliant, an NRG company.
It says, like I said, we're not going to give up. As long as I'm part of this unit, as long as we believe in each other, at the end of the day, I could look to my left and know I could count on them. We fighting for each other, you know. There's a lot of guys fighting for new contracts, guys fighting to take care of their families. So there's still a lot of football to be played, and you don't want to put nothing bad on film or things like that. So, you know, we fighting for each other at this point. At the end of the day, like, the record's the record, the game's the game. We're going to lose some, we're going to win some, but, you know, it's a special feeling when you can fight for each other.
Micah Parsons with a special message post-game because the playoffs might be out of the equation for the Dallas Cowboys, but playing with the rest of the season with some sort of pride and some self-respect for this team is certainly not. The Cowboys get the job done in Week 15 over the Carolina Panthers, their third straight win against the Panthers, and they still have some fight left, 3 wins left on the season. That's what they need in order to make the playoffs. We'll see if the Dallas Cowboys can continue their winning ways and have some success.